everyone, and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 5 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now, before we get stuck into them, I just want to go through a couple of things with you. First of all, I just want to apologise for not making a video here on my YouTube channel. Had a little bit of a tough week last week, so I just thought I'd have a night off, just have a chill night, and that's why I didn't do a video. But I did leave a comment in my latest video. I pinned it at the top, so hopefully if you checked out my latest video, some of you would have seen that. And also as well, I did make it clear on my Twitter feed. So that's the reason why I didn't post for today's racing. Also as well, before we get into the tips for tomorrow, quickly just reflect on how our selections performed on Saturday. It was a disappointing day in the end. The only thing of note that went right for us was Lebroy, who claimed the place money, advertised here at 6 to 1, but we only recommended the 3 places. Unlike some firms I know were paying extra places because he was at the bigger price of 6 to 1. But yeah, he ran a bit of a bizarre race. He was up there throughout, just tracking the leaders, jumped well for a long way, but then he just seemed to get outpaced at a crucial point. However, he did rally on really strongly in the end, which is a little bit frustrating. He's, like I said in the video on for Saturday's racing, I said he's a bit of a cliff horse for me, and I still think I can't get rid of him, you know, because that run at Warwick, I still think it was still a credible performance, and he's not one that's quite off my shortlist yet. If he was to turn up in a race like the Ida Chase at Newcastle, I think that would really suit him. I think he just wants an out-and-out stamina test, and maybe the track at Warwick didn't completely suit him as well. It often is a speedier track, if that kind of makes sense. So yeah, I think maybe the track at Warwick maybe didn't quite suit him. However, he did rally really well in the closing stages, but if he is to go to the Grand National, which the connections I know want to go to, he will have to win a race, because he'll have to go up a few pounds to sneak in. So yeah, Lebroy, maybe the Ida Chase, but not one to completely give up on yet. I know some of you will probably think he's an absolute ultimate cliff horse and you'll want to cut ties with him, but I still haven't given up the hope quite yet that there is one still to come in Lebroy. We then had a couple of other selections that ran for us. The Rodney Redblood at Lingfield was very, very disappointing. And then the other selection, the Captain's Inn, never went a yard really, folded out tamely quite early on in the race, and in the end, yeah, probably suffered the bounce factor there, as it was his second run after a long layoff. So yeah, really frustrating in the end. And the other tip that I put up, Optimised Prime, he was a non-runner due to the going, but I would have thought he would have been able to handle the going because it was similar conditions when he ran at Hereford. So a bit of an odd one there, but yeah, he lives to fight another day. So on the whole, yeah, it was very frustrating. Last week, to be fair, was a little bit better. We did find a 12 to 1 winner on Monday. We had a nice winning nap as well at Fontwell, but yeah, a bit frustrating the last couple of days, but there's still a long way to go in January now. We've still got nearly 2 weeks of the month left, and hopefully we can turn it around and hopefully get some steam going and finish on really strongly to the end of the month. So yeah, we've got 5 tips for tomorrow's racing, and we're going to be going across the Irish Sea for the first one of them. We're going to be taking in an extra tip here, which runs in the 105 at Punchestown, the first race on the card, a maiden hurdle, and I'm going to be putting up Coltor here, who's currently available at 3 to 1 for Jack Kennedy and Dermot Weld. Now I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here as an extra tip. Now this Coltor really caught my eye last time. I actually backed him at Leopardstown when he finished second behind French Seal, who looks like he could be a player in the Triumph Hurdle. I know after he won that race for Ellie Marie Holden, he was put up in the Triumph Hurdle betting around about 8 to 1, I think is his current best price at the moment. But yeah, he's really well fancied, and I believe he's gone to JP McManus. However, if you look in behind the race that day, Coltor plugged on really well up the straight, you know, and he was the strongest finishing horse. And Dermot Weld as well does quite well with his jumpers. He doesn't send too many of them over the sticks these days, but when he does, you should take note. I remember Jack Kennedy's run a couple of nice ones for him, I think in a handicap possibly. Might be Dalton Highway, something like that. But yeah, I know Jack Kennedy has run quite a few times for Dermot Weld. But if you actually go back before the debut run at Leopardstown for this horse, he'd actually shown a bit of form on the flat. He won a race at Killarney when staying on really strong, and I just got the type he could be a player in a race like the Boodles or the Fred Windsor at the festival. You know, probably not quite good enough to run in the Triumph, but definitely there could be some handicaps with him down the line, you know. And if he was to go and win tomorrow, get a rating in the mid 120s, low 130s, that kind of rating for the Triumph, I think he could run but not the Triumph, sorry, for the Boodles. I think he could run potentially. He could run very well. I think there's a lot to like about Coltor, and going into this race tomorrow, I don't think it's a particularly strong race. Palm Beach does set the standard, but to me, he's been vulnerable on quite a few of his starts, and I would expect our selection, Coltor, to go very close tomorrow, and I'd be disappointed, really, if he can go and win this race. So, yeah, for me, it's going to be our first tip of the day, just an extra tip, but fingers crossed he can get us off to a good start over the Irish Sea. We then head back across the Irish Sea to the UK, where we go up to Scotland for the nap of the day in the 155, and I'm going to be going with strong economy here, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet. It's my nap of the day, currently available at 9-2 for Derek Fox, who's riding for Ian Duncan. Now, when you look at this race as a whole, I was surprised to find this horse at the price he was. I thought he would have been favourite for this race, because I thought his performance last time was very good at air on heavy ground over the same course and distance. And I remember there was a bit of chat about this horse, saying because the owners, the McDonald family, had a tragedy in amongst their ranks, and I'm not sure who the exact person was, but I know that it was quite poignant. It was quite a poignant winner with this horse, Strong Economy, winning at air. And he did the job really well, to be fair to him. He's been raised to a mark of 117 now by the handicapper, but that was a Class 3 race at last time. This is a Class 4, and he's going to be meeting Buddha Scheme again for Lucinda Russell, and he absolutely thrashed him that day by 14 lengths. So I can't really see why the Lucinda Russell horse is going to reverse the form of Strong Economy. Also as well, we've got Scoop the Pot, who's favourite for the race, but he's not got a particularly strong record on good ground, and even though on really old form he still is quite well handicapped, I think he's not quite as good as he once was. Obviously, he got to a mark where he was really so low in the weights, he was going to have to win a race at some point. But I think even though he has shown a bit more consistency of late, I just think he might peak too much, and I still think our selection has got a bit more to come off his current mark and still could be improving. And maybe, who knows, he could end up off a bottom weight in a race like the Scottish National later on, or even have a go at the Ida Chase at Newcastle. You know, I think there could be more to come from this horse. He's still only 9 years old, which obviously I know isn't young in the racing game, but he's still in the peak of his racing career, you would have to say. So yeah, a lot to like about this horse tomorrow. He goes well at air, 3-time course winner. I think he can get another one, and at 9-2 I was slightly surprised at this price, and in my opinion I think he should be round about a 5-2, 9-4 favourite for this race. I think 9-2 represents a lot of good value, and that's why he is going to be my nap of the day in the 155 at air. We then go to the evening action at Wolverhampton, where I've got 3 selections for tomorrow actually, and we go to the 640 for the first of them. Going to be an extra tip here, going to recommend a 0.5 each way bet, and I'm going to take a chance here on Kaser for David Loughnane and Ross O'Ryan. Both are in really good form at the moment. David Loughnane's operating at a 25% strike rate, and Ross O'Ryan as well is riding out of his skin. He's operating at a 27% strike rate, 9 winners in the last fortnight. But this horse Kaser is a bit of a monkey, but if you go back through his form, he actually won this race last year off a mark of 85. Now he's actually going to be racing off a £2 lower mark, but things just haven't quite gone his way on his last couple of starts. He was a bit slowly out the gate last time, but if you actually look at the race as a whole, I think he didn't run too badly. I think he ran better than the Bear result. You know, Laura Pearson wasn't giving him a particularly hard time that day, who was booked to ride him. So yeah, I think maybe he ran slightly better than the Bear result. But yeah, Kaser now, he's £2 lower than when he won this race last year. But I think there's a lot to like about his chances tomorrow. It doesn't look a particularly strong race on paper. I think there's quite a few exposed types in here, and even some of the improving types. I'm not sure they've got that much more to come. Also as well, in that race that Kaser ran in last time was Ahmad, and Ahmad went and took advantage of a class drop on his last start, but he is going to be coming back in here tomorrow, but he's going to be up there likely to make the pace. He's drawn in still too, so if he can go a good pace tomorrow and they go fast, it could just set up quite nicely for Kaser. He's 10-1 currently with bookmakers at the moment. That price was available with William Hill and Bet365, and I'm going to recommend, like I said, a 0.5 each way bet on Kaser to hopefully win that race again this year. So yeah, that's going to be my extra tip, another extra tip of the day. We then go to the Longshot, which runs in the 740 at Wolves, and that's a horse called First Dance for James Sullivan and Tom Tate. Now this horse at the current time of recording was available at 22 to 1, and 4 places was on offer at that price with Paddy Power and Betfair. Now I thought this was quite a big price for this horse, and if you go back and watch a race replay last time out, this horse finished 3rd at Wolverhampton, running on really strongly, was at the back, was a bit slowly away, but had to navigate quite a bit of traffic during the race, and especially up the home straight as well, and was definitely the one to take out the race. The winner of that race was Gavi de Gavi, who got the rub of the green in that race. I actually put up Capriole, really fancied her. She finished in 2nd place. But if you go back and watch First Dance, that was actually quite an eye-catching run, and that performance you should sit up and take note. Now the race last time at Wolverhampton was a Class 5, and First Dance tomorrow is actually going to be dropping back in class to Class 6. And if you go back through the form, she's probably had her problems along the way, but back in 2019 in October, when you go back to it, not many starts ago for this horse, she actually won a race over the course and distance off a £2 lower mark. So her mark of 64 still arguably looks well in, I think, and it came in this class. So I think there's a lot to like about her tomorrow. Also as well, she had a wide draw last time out, and she's got a good draw tomorrow and still won. So if she can not get right out the back but be in the midfield, I think she's got a cracking chance of going very close in this race tomorrow. I think 22 to 1 is a really big price for this mare. So yeah, First Dance tomorrow, I think there's lots to like about her, and that's why she's going to be my long shot of the day. We then end off this video going to the last race at Wolverhampton in the 8:10, where we're going to be going with Elegant Love, who's going to be my next best for tomorrow's racing. This horse is currently available at 7 to 2, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet. Trained by Tony Carroll, and Tom Marquand is in the saddle tomorrow. Now this horse, go back and watch last time out, actually did very well to win when having a really wide passage and meeting a bit of trouble in running, and did really well to win on the line. And if you go back and look at the form, it's not worked out too badly, because Brett Johnson's horse, who made the frame, who finished in 3rd, has subsequently come out and won. So it doesn't look a bad level of form at all. This filly, though, you might say she's getting a little bit high in the weights, but I still think she might have a bit more to come. And Tony Carroll's horses have been running in fairly good form, and this isn't the strongest race on paper. Also as well, I think the 10 furlongs, that's the correct trip for her. She's been campaigned, especially in the last 12 months, over slightly shorter. She had been campaigned over further, so 10 furlongs definitely looks the right trip, in my opinion. And I think she could be the kind of horse that could just get on a little bit of a streak, and I'd be disappointed if Elegant Love couldn't go in again. I think she's got really solid credentials tomorrow, and I think at 7 to 2 that's a fair price there, and I think she'll take all the beating in that race. So that's going to be my next best of the day for tomorrow's racing. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos here on my YouTube channel, and remember to hit the thumbs up. Also as well, if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow me here on Twitter, where my handle is @LuckyLoaders15. Please gamble responsibly, and if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly again, and we'll be seeing you soon.